We're going to talk about some of the permanent choices that I've made to my body now. Starting with let's start with this guy. So this one, obviously, is a Keith Haring, the radioactive dog associated with the radioactive baby. This was one of the more important ones to me to have because I had the magnets of his as a kid that I would always play with on my fridge, and my favorite was the little dog. And then my 12-year-old chocolate lab, Sophie, passed away around that same time that I was learning to tattoo. And part of my grieving experience was actually finding something that I could give myself for her memory. And to me, that was this. So that's my Sophie tattoo. Next up, we got the Hand of Justice. Only one. Eventually, I maybe want to get just her head and the blind around her eyes, but I don't know if I can do it in the same spot anymore because I rushed into that one. But yeah, this one I incorporated onto myself at a point in time where my friends' decisions on and friends' opinions on things and choices in life suddenly scared me, and there's a quote, I think, from Martin Luther King about you will not remember the kindness of your friends, but not the words of your friends, but not the words of your enemies, but the silence of your friends. And that's kind of what made me need to get this, to remind myself that I have a choice in who I associate myself with, and that I don't need to be friends with everybody just to please somebody. Next up, we got Coco Pelli. This is a native Hopi tribe symbol for prosperity, and really, I don't have an association with it culturally, but my name is Hope. My childhood nickname was Hopi. And this guy was the first stuffed animal I ever had when I was born. My mom's friend Alice was visiting and brought this back from me, and it was handmade. And basically, this was one of my favorite toys, and even into adulthood I still have it because it just makes me happy, and it's got such a little round tongue. But I needed to incorporate that in some way in case I ever lost him, but that will not be happening. This guy is actually a pigeon done by a very good friend, Greg. It's an original design of his, but I've always wanted to have some kind of a New York tattoo. To me, that's pigeons eating pizza off the floor. But really, I needed one in flight. The way that they flock in fear away from you is delightful. So, yeah. And then actually, slowly over time, unbeknownst to me, this whole arm has become my friend Greg's. This is actually one of the tattoos I have on my hand that my mom really made me, think about that decision. But I got tooth and nail. To me, my worst fear would be losing my right hand somehow, just because I could never do the things I love to do anymore. I would probably have to retrain myself with my left hand for as long as possible. But this guy does all the work to me, so gotta keep some praise for it. And then this guy is a little satyr. I think in Roman Greek mythology, they would kind of run around with various libations in the nude and encourage mischief. And we're kind of just little cute buddies that would run around causing trouble. But I got this actually at a bar in Brooklyn one night that I just went with a friend, and somebody was there doing tattoos for like $40. And not a super sanitary condition, but he was a great guy and a great tattoo. So I ended up in a good situation, and I had a great drink. So, oh, and then I forgot about this one actually. So this on my neck right here is actually my family crest on my mom's side. Basically, a Honco is a Japanese family crest that symbolizes what your ancestors did for eons, because that kind of trade was passed down normally. So, as you can see by my grains of rice, we were rice farmers for a very long time and not very wealthy. If you were wealthy enough to, you would probably have a samurai's helmet or literally like stacks of gold on the back of your neck. Here, hold on. This guy is actually a book that my mom handed down to me that's just every known family Honco that's out there. It's hand bound, so I really need to preserve it in some way instead of just letting it sit in my room. But we're in there somewhere. Yeah, they get ridiculously detailed too. What else do we got? Oh, my stomach did it again. Oh! Alright, another Keith Haring. So this guy, obviously my disc jockey. I think this was probably around the time that I decided I wanted to do something involving music, whether it was artistic direction or like producing something or working with musical artists in whatever way, in whatever capacity I could. And again, it is actually Sophie being my disc jockey for me. So another repeat of the same guy. Just hanging out now. Everyone thinks that that one is like the New York skyline or something like that. I actually tattooed that in the first week I got to college because of how much I missed New York, and that's actually the piers along the west side. So from an aerial view looking down, that's Pier 40, Pier something. No, that's the Holland Tunnel. That's Pier 25, and then the rest of Battery Park. I did my own female version of Atlas. We got little spider guy that actually covers up a little scar I have right there from being a wild child.